Okay, we're going to solve this problem using a two-equation system, which what that means to you is that we're going to use two variables. And the reason why we're going to use two variables instead of one variable is we don't know much about one variable or the other. So this is what I mean. So we know that we have a total of 124 bills, and they're made up of $5 and $10. So what we're going to say, I'm going to do a let statement here. And we're going to let X equal to the number of $5 bills. And then we're going to let Y equal to the number of $10 bills. This doesn't tell me, this sentence that we underlined here, doesn't tell me how much money we have. It just says how many bills we have. So from that equation, or from that sentence, we can say that X plus Y is the total number of bills of 124. So we know that. The other equation is going to come from the total amount of money. So if we take a look at amount of money, so let's take a look at that. Not amount of bills or number of bills, but the amount of money. Well, we get $5 for every $5 bill. So that's going to give me the amount of money from the $5 bills. And similarly, we can say that 10, which is the amount of money we get for every $10 bill, that 10Y will be the amount of money that we get from the $10 bills. So our equation here is going to be that 5x, that's how much money we have from the $5 bills, plus 10y is the amount of money we get from the $10 bills, and altogether it's going to equal to $840. So notice the units here is all money. All of these are money, the amount of money. Whereas these up here are just the number of bills. These are still numbers of bills. So that kind of helps you decide how to write our equations. So now that we have our two-equation system, then we're going to solve them. So we have a couple of ways of solving them. The easiest way may be by substitution. So I'm going to write my two equations over here as x plus y is equal to 124, and 5x plus 10y is equal to 840. So by substitution, so I'm going to write that down. What we do for that is we get one of these equations, it doesn't matter which one, to quickly solve for a variable. Well, because the first one has x's and y's, I think that's really easy to solve for x. X is equal to 124 minus y. So what I did is I essentially just subtracted y from both sides, and that's how I solved for x. Now that I have that, then I'm going to substitute that into the second equation. That's this one right here. So in other words, instead of writing down 5x, I'm going to write down 5 times 124 minus y plus 10y is equal to 840. And then now I just have a one equation system that I can solve using the distributive property, adding like terms, the normal way that you would go about solving this particular equation. Now let's talk about solving it a different way. And I'm going to, I don't want to jump ahead of whatever you are learning, but another way might be what we call by either addition. Some books call it addition, and I used to teach from a book that called it elimination. Elimination. And what we did there is we lined up the equations as x plus y is equal to 124 and 5x plus 10y is equal to 840. So what we want to do is we want to eliminate one of the variables. using addition. So what we want to do is we want to get the coefficients to be the same for either x or the y. So I'm just going to pick the x's just so that you can see what I'm doing. Is I have a 1 as a coefficient for x here and a 5 for a coefficient of x in the second equation. So I want to make them the same. So I'm going to multiply this equation by 5. So everything is going to be multiplied by 5, and I'm going to get 5x plus 5y is equal to, here's my math, 20, carrier 2, 2, carrier 1, 620. So I'm going to say that 124 times 5 is 620. Then I'm just going to bring down my other equation, this one right here, and I'm going to have 5x plus 10y is equal to 180. And I kind of messed up. What we should have done is actually multiplied by a negative 5. And the reason why you want to multiply by a negative 5, so I'm going to put a negative here, a negative here, and a negative here, is so that way now when we add, we're going to get a negative 5x and a positive 5x, which equals to 0. When I add these two, I get 5y. And then I'm going to add these two here. And I should not be getting a negative number. When I add these two here, we should get, let's see, 0, 12 is 4, 5 is 4. And then we can see how we can solve for y in this case. And we're actually answering the question about how many bills of $10 bills we have. I'm just confused about why we're getting a negative number. Because it doesn't make sense that y would be a negative number since we can't have negative number of bills. That means you owe it, not necessarily have it in your possession. So I'll take a look at that again. Oh, I know why. Oh, happens to me all the time. It would help if I knew how not to reverse my numbers. So this should be 840, and that will make this a positive number of 0 to 220. And then from here we can divide both sides by 5 and solve for y.